Jitendra, on the one hand, when you look at Sony, you could say they're a little late to the game, though the game just started. On the other hand, they've already got this giant network of consoles that already exist, so does that give them an edge? What do you think?
Absolutely. So 40 million plus PlayStation 4 is already out there. If you look at the monthly active users on the network, 65 million. And let's not forget the content strength that Sony has. Their in-house studios are very strong. They have extreme fan following over, last couple of years, and they can sort of leverage those things and upsell these devices. But if you look at the expectations, they're not that high with respect to what their upselling capability is right now.
What about the price? The PlayStation is a bit cheaper, though you already have to have the consoles, though the HTC and the Oculus are fairly expensive because you need the entire PC to go with it. Google Daydream, on the other hand, very cheap, but we don't know how that'll translate into the experience. How do you see this playing out when it comes to price?
So Google Daydream is targeting another set of customers, more casual, easy to use. The price points are much lower. Again, unit volumes would be higher in that thing. If you just look at expectations, about 7.1 million expected this year, Daydream-like products. But as far as HTC, Sony, and Vive are concerned, Sony, price is not just the main factor over here. The main factor is ease of use, single device that game developers can sort of like develop for and optimize that experience. And again, Sony could use its in-house studios much better than anybody else.
David, what's your take on the nascent, thus far, VR wars?
I think it is very nascent. I think this is one of those technologies that we're starting to realize is absolutely going to be a major part of the landscape going forward. I think consumer electronics companies like Sony see it as a real opportunity to kind of leap back into relevance. And probably over time, Sony in particular, I think will do very well with it. But it's not, in my opinion, even though, yes, it's a great Christmas present for your 13-year-old or maybe even your 21-year-old, but it's not going to be a product category with content that's really going to appeal to a wide range of people and be a mass market product like a smartphone kind of level cultural penetration anytime soon. That's not to say it's not important. It's very important.
Now, the Oculus Developers Conference is happening right now in San Jose, just about an hour away from where we are, and Mark Zuckerberg has just put out a post saying they will demonstrate something new at 10 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow, Thursday. Any idea, Jitendra, what this could be?
Like David said, content is key over here, and there might be some content-related announcements over there. The mainstream adoption issue is definitely, it's longer term, like we had estimated before. Around the 2020 timeframe is when all the ecosystem around this new product type will evolve. But right now, the focus is mostly on gamers.
And what about content? Who can compete the best when it comes to content?
Well, even if you have the content delivery platforms are not there yet. Streaming, this much bandwidth, the requirements, the experience, it won't be ready. So it'll be just pilot stage, nascent, just pitch the idea to consumer, like, look out for these products. The products will evolve, and hopefully, the bandwidth will solve itself longer term, and this thing will reach mainstream.
David, you wrote the book on Facebook. Any idea what surprise Mark Zuckerberg could have in store tomorrow?
No, but it's been very interesting to me to see how excited he has become about Oculus. I mean, obviously excited enough to spend billions to buy the company in the first place, but he really believes that it's not just for gamers, and that down the road, our interaction with our friends on Facebook is going to be in a virtual space where we probably feel in some very convincing way that we are with each other despite distance.